Hello everyone, we're here at the Long Road Festival and I'm joined by Catherine and Lizzie Ward-Thomas. How are you girls?
Good, thank
Good,
you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to the Long Road.
Thank you.
This must be super exciting for you two to be headlining the first night of a brand new country festival.
Yes, it's so great, and it just shows how much country music in this country has grown.
Yeah.
And there's more and more country festivals popping up every year, and it's always exciting to see a new one.
Yeah, and you girls have been a big part of that, so this is all due to what you guys have done. So tell us a little bit about this new album that you've been working on, because we're all super excited to hear it. When's it coming out? Is it going to be February next year?
February the 1st, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about kind of the process behind that and how far down the line you are with that.
So the process has been a long one because after Cartwheels we felt really strongly about making sure that the next thing that we put out into the world was something that we were just as proud of. And because Cartwheels was like completely surpassed all of our expectations, we felt really desperate to make sure that everything about Restless Minds was going to be something that we wanted to make sure we projected into the world. And so we've taken a long time over it, and we spent a lot of sort of soul-searching nights writing it, and then the recording process has been very, very late nights of redoing vocals and resorting out productions, and then weeks later re-listening and going back into the studio and refixing. So it's taken a lot of time to perfect. So I think that hopefully when you guys finally hear it, which we cannot wait, honestly cannot wait for you guys to hear it, it's different to Cartwheels, but it's still the same.
There's still it's a real mixture musically and lyrically. It shows our development in, we've grown up, and it shows our different influences and our core influences still. And we've already got new music that's out at the moment, like Lie Like Me and I Believe in You, and they're a little bit of a taster of how different, the two extremes of how all the songs sound very different from each other, but still on the same theme.
Yeah. Well, the fans seem to really have embraced Lie Like Me. It's been a great introductory single to the album. So why did you feel like that was a good one to kind of show off what your new material's about?
It's always really hard because when we wrote it, I remember having meetings, everyone being like, when we have decided on the first single. And I remember thinking, how on earth do we decide on the first single? But it sort of just happened really authentically. And then the thing that excites me about Lie Like Me is it's a sort of starting point to what you'll hear for the rest of the album. We wrote so much of the album about very personal life experiences of like how we're sort of learning essentially to be young adults in this rather scary world at the moment. And Lie Like Me is one of those sort of songs that's almost looking at it from afar in a way, and then there's other songs which we dive really deep into sort of perspective, so hopefully it's a really good taster.
Yeah, and we do talk a lot about the millennial generation and what we're all going through with the social media kind of world, and that is what Lie Like Me is about, as well as keeping up appearances and feeling the need to keep up appearances in social situations or on social media, and we thought that was a good topic to start off the album.
And the title of the album, Restless Minds, where did that come from? Is there kind of an ongoing theme throughout the project?
Yeah, that was actually a funny story. We were agonizing over the name of the album. We were like, what is the perfect... We wanted it to be a lyric in a song rather than a title of the album.
Yeah.
And we were like, what is the perfect title to sum up the whole album? We were singing one of our new songs called It's Not Just Me, the lyrics to it, and we were like, 'cause my restless mind, and we stopped and we were like, that's the name.
It's funny because we were so desperate for it to be a lyric and not a title of a song, just because we felt like it would be quite interesting to sort of offer that as a different thing. Not that it's unique, I mean lots of people do it, but and we were sort of going over all the songs where lyrically we're the most proud of, and there's a song called This Too Will Pass that we close the album with, and there's a lyric in it that says, does the sun feel betrayed by the sky when it rains? And we were like, no, that's just too long.
That's too long.
We just can't
that's
have that.
That's a real old traditional country
exactly.
album name.
So tell us a little bit about I Believe in You as well, which the fans have really, really embraced as well. I mean, you must be super excited to get that out because it's a little bit more country to Lie Like Me, so it's a lot more what fans are familiar with for you guys.
Well, we actually wrote that during the Cartwheels album, and it wasn't placed well on the Cartwheels album. We were like, we loved it so much. We played it live for such a long time on our tours, And it always got such a good reaction live, and it was such a feel-good, uplifting song, and it's all about believing in someone, whether it's yourself or someone else, and just building up their confidence, and just say that you can be whatever you want to be. And
it took a while for that sound to work as well, because it sounded really different when we first wrote it, and then we toured it, and that's when the sort of more sort of four on the floor stompy sound came from. And we were really excited when that came out, because we sort of pushed it out as a song, not necessarily as a single, and we just kind of thought like, hey, here's a new one, and we were really excited with how it was received.
Yeah, it sounded a lot more pop when we first wrote it, and then we were like, oh, Mumfordy.
Yeah, I love it. And you've got some big songwriters on the new album as well, people that have written for the likes of One Direction and Take That. So how's it been working with those guys?
That's been really, really fun, and we formed some really great new relationships. And before we were slightly like nervous, because we're like, oh, we're just these two country Hampshire girls, we're probably not cool enough, all that kind of stuff. And then we went into the room and we got on so well, and they were like, oh, it's so we went into the room and we were like, let's just write a song, let's not just write a pop song or this song or that song. And they were like, oh, it's so refreshing to just hear, let's just feel what comes. And now we're going to one of their weddings in December, and we're really close to them.
Wedding,
yeah.
It's really cool actually, because when we wrote each individual song, we wanted to sort of have the same attitude that we had with Cartwheels, where we just sort of let's just write, let's not try and write for an album, let's not try and write specifically, let's just write. And this natural theme came into place of having sort of restless minds essentially, and learning how to deal with that. And it was just really well received every time we brought that concept up with these people, because Ed Druitt and Rachel Ferner are both very experienced songwriters for very pop, and they have very clear briefs sometimes with like what the song that they want to write is, and it was just really refreshing to just sort of bash out a random idea and see how it goes.
We were like chatting most of the day, and then we wrote the song in the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing it anyway. So what's the plan for the rest of the year for you two? You got much touring going on, or any festivals or shows left?
So we have an announcement of a tour at some point soon, very soon, and we're sort of perfecting the album. We've got a lot of plans in the works, but nothing sort of to come out yet.
We've got a single that's coming out hopefully at the end of September.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that.
We forgot about that, because it's an important thing. And we're just sharing more and more new music and leading up to the album release, basically. And this is actually our last summer festival.
And it's our last live date.
It's perfect, because at the beginning of the summer festival it was really hot, and now it's that really nice sunny, cold autumnal kind of weather. So, good ending.
Enjoy the festival, and we're looking forward to hearing the new music. Thank you for giving us a few minutes. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
No worries, we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much.